Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Elliot from the Retro Future and welcome back to my second personal channel. Today we're going to be looking at a watch that I recently picked up. I'm a massive fan of watches. I absolutely love watches. I wear watches all the time. I wear watches every day. They are quite helpful things. And I also really like taking little bits of tech around with me. And that has carried on from my childhood where I would bring my Game Boy with me to everything we went to, or some sort of a toy or some sort of a thing. If you have a watch that you're really obsessed with and really fascinated with, you find yourself sort of in moments just looking at it and appreciating it. It doesn't necessarily have to be an expensive one. I don't own many watches that are worth more than a couple £100, but I really just like looking at intricate little things, especially sort of Seikos, because they're very, very cool. This is a slightly more expensive watch, but I got it quite cheap and broken from Sendico, and it is still broken. It does tell the time. I haven't got battery in it at the moment, but I thought I'd wear this as an example of a really unique watch. The only function that doesn't work is the chronograph function. I'm going to get that serviced soon, which is quite cool. But yeah, the point is I like having little bits of intricate tech with me. Now, I've had a G-Shock for a very long time. This was actually the first watch that I ever bought myself, and it still works absolutely perfect. I recently took it apart and gave it a thorough clean, and it honestly looks brand new. The only thing that doesn't look so new is the rubber strap, but that's obviously pretty inevitable, although it doesn't look bad, but you can replace those fairly easily. So G-Shocks are awesome. They're absolutely indestructible. I've taken this skiing, snowboarding, rock climbing, swimming, all the rest of it, and it still looks like that. I'm also a fan of retro things, and that's kind of where this watch comes in. This is the GA-2100THB-7A. And the box is fairly uninteresting, so we don't need to really have a massive look at that. But the reason I wanted this watch is a couple of different reasons. It's called a Throwback 1990's edition, and it's a very retro looking watch, so that's one reason. The second reason is I love G-Shocks, and the third reason is a massive creator who has massively inspired me and my YouTube videos is Casey Neistat, and he's recently started wearing this watch, and I think that's really cool. He owns a solid gold Rolex Submariner as well as a regular, I think, Rolex Submariner and a Oyster Perpetual date or a Datejust, I think, or something like that. But he chooses to wear a £80, $100 watch, which is really, really cool. £80 being Great British pounds, the currency, not the weight, as some of you love to always point out. By the way, included in this box is the warranty card and information and a massive manual thing that no one will ever read. And then there's this nice little bit of foam. It kind of comes in a metal tin, which is cool, but it's another one of those things you just shove in a cupboard. But here is the watch itself, and I'm so excited by it. I've been wearing it for a few days so that I could actually give you guys a little bit of a review, and I'm very excited by it, and I've not stopped doing the exact thing I mentioned at the start of this video, which is just obsessing over it and looking at it. It's a very eclectic taste. I can't imagine many people are going to want to wear this kind of watch, but I really, really like it. It comes with this little, this is probably for a shop, you know, to put the price on it and stuff. And it's got some specifications on it, which I'll read to sound impressive. Shock resistant, 200 meter water resistance, double LED light, 1/100th second stopwatch, world time, daily alarm, and timer. So here it is in all of its absolute beauty. I absolutely am obsessed with how this looks, and I'll zoom the camera in just a second, but obviously you can see it is pink, white and purple, which is a very retro color. My friend Vince, he was telling me about some shoes he used to wear that were that color, some Nikes and stuff, and yeah, it's a very, very nice watch. The one thing I really like about it is it's actually surprisingly low profile for a G-Shock. You can see with my old one here, it's quite thick, whereas this one is actually, I would say, probably half the thickness, maybe not quite half, but it's definitely thin. Compared to a traditional watch, it's obviously going to look quite, this is not a traditional watch, that is the wrong term to use, but it's obviously a little bit thicker, but it's really not that bad, and that is quite a nice thing for a G-Shock, because G-Shocks are so bold and substantial. You know, look at this one, for example. This looks like you're from the military or something. But yeah, so the pink and the purple, really cool. It's got a purple little strap thing here as well. The actual buckle itself is very basic. There's not a lot on there. The back of it has some little information and stuff. And then you've got 4 buttons around the side. You've got your minute and hour hand. You've got a day as well. And then you've got a little LCD screen down in the corner. So let me zoom it in and I'll show you some more of the details. So there it is zoomed in, and as you can see, it's just absolutely gorgeous. This is a really strong plastic. It doesn't feel like the kind of plastic that's going to get really dirty. I don't really know how to describe that, but it's not like a rubberized plastic, so I think this will probably stay quite white for quite some time. So the pink G-Shock at the top, the purple protection at the bottom. It's got purple hour and minute hands, a pink day hand, and then on all of the different indices for the 5 minutes, it's got little pink markers, which is really, really cool. So yeah, I'm just obsessed with this thing. You can see it says at the top there, G-Shock Casio, and then I think that is the 200-meter thing. WR20 bar, which I think is just a posh way of saying that. And then down in this little screen, you've got lots of different things you can do. So you've got a mode button down here, you've got your set button, this is your light, and the light is really interesting. Let me see if I can show you this. So the light kind of comes up in the corner and then like phases out. It's really cool, kind of like a lightsaber. It's really smart. And for whatever reason, that screen is perfectly evenly lit at all times. You know, I've obviously had this thing out in pitch black in the night, and the screen is perfectly evenly lit. It's going to be quite hard for you to see, but around the side here, it does tell you you've got light, you've got start, you've also got mode, and you've got adjust, which is kind of nice that it tells you what it is there. So in a blink of an eye, you know, if you're not familiar with the watch, you can tell what it is. But it's also not filled in with paint, which kind of shows it's more sleek. You know, it's more sort of subtle. So it's got a nice little design as well. But onto the screen, so you can press the mode button, and you've got the world time, so it's going to tell you here the time now, which is where I am, and then you can go to stopwatch, and you've got your stopwatch function, which is very simple. Obviously, not sure how to reset it. Oh, there we go. That's it. You just press the set button, and then you can go through again. You've got a timer, and then you've got an alarm. And then you've got the time again. And then if you want to access the world time, I think you can change the different world times by holding down the set button. And then you can go through and choose the different time zones that you want, which I think is done with this button here. So now you've got Madrid, or Madrid. And then you've got Paris. And if you want to choose it, you press the set button, and then everything will automatically adjust into that time, which is really, really cool. And it's really not that difficult to do. So I do like that a lot. So let me go back to London. There we go. And set. And then it will wind everything back. So yeah, a seriously cool watch. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I just love the look of it. I really like the fact that Casey's wearing this in his videos. They're quite hard watches to get, as I said. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find the link for you guys to buy them. Let me show you what it looks like on the wrist. It's not a heavy watch, like it's not as heavy as something like this, but it in no way feels inexpensive or cheap, despite it kind of having to the naked eye quite a tacky appearance. It's absolutely rugged as anything. It's super sturdy, but there it is on the wrist. I've got quite petite wrists, I would say, but I've got pretty big hands, which I think is why a G-Shock works quite well on my wrist. But yeah, I'm absolutely in love with this thing. It's just so beautiful. They made a bunch of different watches. As I said, this was a part of a Throwback 1990s range, and they did make lots of different ones with all these different sort of colors, reds and blacks and purples and blacks, and I think they did a bright red one and a stealth black one, and they're all gorgeous. And I bought this one from Japan. I got it from Sendico again, yeah, I'm so happy with it. It's absolutely stunning. There you go. I'm not a watch reviewer. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you want to see more watch videos, let me know. The only thing about watches is they can kind of be a little bit touchy to talk about, because some watches are worth a lot of money, but I think it's kind of cool to show something like this, which is an £80 sterling watch, which I think that's a pretty affordable price for a watch. You know, £80 would be a lot for, say, a Game Boy, or it's not a lot compared to a phone, but for a watch, I think that's a really reasonable price, and you get quite a lot for your money. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I'll show you some photos of what the lume looks like as well. The lume, I think, is only on the minute and hour hands, but yeah, obviously you've got your light as well to look at the digital screen. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, slap a like and subscribe if you're new. And I will catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.